Okay, this is the episode where we might have overpromised to our client what we can deliver. Look at him, bro. Look at him. Shmi 150 we've got in the gang. A movie producer, yeah, contacted me and said, "Oh, Vince, we've been trying to get Jason Statham for so long. Give us a hint of maybe we can introduce him," stuff like that. I'm like, bro, this was AI, mate. You know what I mean? Like, Monday morning, we are back at the Graph, Bristol. Now I'm going to the other job where Craig Stevens is running for me, my manager, the top man. So I'm gonna go meet. We have 4 new boys. Actually, we have 4 new boys starting, but 3 of them are starting today. They're just getting inducted now. I'm gonna go and meet the boys, young boys, 20-something years old. So yeah, we're pushing it. We're pushing it hard. We're moving fast. We've got a lot in the pipeline. I actually got a new job that I need to start in about 3 weeks for a trusted client of mine, Maple. So yeah, but the job I'm going right now, I can't actually show you anything about it because yeah, I've been told by the client to basically not post any videos until we get the job finished. So yeah, we've been working since January there with 6 lads, but now the client came back to us after they had another gang there, but the other gang, they don't seem to understand the importance of how well they need to be installed and how correctly everything needs to be, like fire brake fixings, what fixings you use. You put in the fixing into sliding points, into dead points and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna go now meet the boys, see what they're at, and yeah, have a chat with Craig. Came to see the boys, yeah, and check this out, yeah. Tom that is starting with us, he looks exactly like Shmi 150. Like, have a look. Look at him, bro. Look at him. Shmi 150 we've got in the gang. Come on. Before you go anywhere, let me just show you the fucking kings of fucking Bristol. You know what I mean? The man of the hour, a footballer who is also a professional cladder, doing an absolute mean job. Then we got Riley, yeah, he's a new member.
His name's Chong.
Chong. What's your name? Oh yeah, I know. No, Jason Statham. I'll show you a AI that I've done of him when he parked on Park Street.
Someone thought he was actually mates with.
Mate, I've got a movie producer, yeah, contacting me and said, "Oh, Vince, we've been trying to get Jason Statham for so long, blah, blah, blah." I swear to God, I'm going to show you the message, bro. Yeah, I got contacted by some producers telling me that, "Can you give us a hint of maybe we can introduce and stuff like that?" I'm like, bro, this was a AI, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I know he looks like it, but he's not him, actually.
True story.
True story, yeah. Yeah, then we got young Louis. Louis, what's your age, bro?
21.
21?
Yeah.
Is he the youngest one?
He is the youngest.
Yeah, and then I think, Joe, you were 22?
No, 24.
24?
24.
24? Bro, we are granddads here. Jesus Christ.
You don't need to know how old I am.
Well, you're still younger than me, a year.
45.
I think I'm the oldest here, yeah? No. Rich granddad. Yeah. I'm 30. Wait, what I am?
37.
37, yeah. 37, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, proper grafters here, proper grafters. Yes, Richard. How are you, beautiful man? Hey, the people missed you, man. The people missed you. Everybody on the comment is asking, where's Rich? Where's that beautiful person, mate?
Where?
Everybody on YouTube. Yeah, they're asking, where's that beautiful person, mate? And also they're missing Jake's accent, though, you know.
My accent?
Yeah. Mason, bro, glad to see you, bro. The old panels, yeah?
Yeah, that's the old one, but I don't know what they've done up there beforehand. Those different, like.
So you're gonna have to take that panel and then put the fire brake or something?
Yeah, replace all the fire brake, change all the build up, and then put all the flashing back in, really.
Yeah.
Drill hole for all that, for the light and that.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, really.
These boys are not messing around, I'm telling you. The kings of Bristol, they are not messing around, completely taking over and absolutely smashing it. This job has been for a while like that. Do it to previous contractor, and now they're completely taking over. We've been for a while here as well, but yeah, 10 lads completely occupying the whole job and absolutely taking it over. Come back to the job at Bath Road, where we're doing the Euroclad standing seam view, which I really much enjoy. We're moving very fast there. We are at the third elevation of 4 elevations on the wall, so the roof is already being completed. And yeah, now we're just on the walls. But yeah, we're moving fast. Everything is going well. I'm actually scared to get excited because everything is just going too well. The boys are cracking on very well. We're building a system so I can remove myself from the tools and yeah, basically start managing more the jobs and the media stuff of the business, and start doing basically videos and traveling around the country to visit all the manufacturers, because I am eager to learn about every single manufacturer I've ever used in the past and I'm going to use in the future potentially, how they operate, how they come up with the ideas, the engineering. I just want to see the characters behind the walls of the facilities, how they're building them products, why they think them product is better. It'll help me understand more about the product I'm putting in the wall, rather than just receiving a pack of fixings or a box of brackets or a pallet with rails and all that and panels and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's good for the manufacturers to get on that type of content, because at the minute they're lacking of content, even though they're busy and whatnot. I think it's very important to give a characters to all these manufacturers, because I think people would like to see and understand more of behind the scene and how they're coming up with all these new designs of improving the construction and the installation for everybody. Because listen, we're installing all these products all the time, but if I get the sneak peek of how they've been developed, the mind behind it and everything, it'll just make us way better off when we receive the materials on site, why and how to install them the best way possible on the job, and the quickest way also. And when we come to talk to our client, they will be with confidence they hired the right people for the job, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is moving very well. We already done our first ever video for Fix Fast. Shout out to Fix Fast. I'm really happy about that. I've got my videographer Daniel that I'm working with him on this part of the business, and all goes together. He's actually all links up. So I'm working now on kind of like a brochure, like a newsletter, so I can post every week of how all these types of innovations I'm doing for the business, the way I'm running site construction, it makes sense of combining all these things together. So yeah, you'll see more on that very, very shortly. But yeah, at the minute everything is okay. Traffic is mad, and yeah, I'm just trying to get my way to the other side. Third elevation, so we've got basically that wall. Obviously this is like 3 floors, so all the way up. The boys are putting the top cuts. Victor is going around there. We need to do some taping at the bottom because some of the membrane and the plasterboard, they have some gaps and holes, so we are making sure the tieback is all sealed and nice, so we prevent any water leaks or anything like that. Galv, top hats, everything is getting done. So soon we're starting with the 50mm insulation, 150mm insulation, rock bar, then 25mm insulation. Start with standing seam, obviously the usual, but yeah, as you can see, we are cracking on. This elevation is a little bit more interesting than the rest. Why? Because as you can see here, now you have SFS in here. Obviously this is to the studs, and then you have a concrete. So here you have a concrete all the way here, and then over there as well we have a big step of the concrete and the SFS, and we can't avoid that. We can't change the top hat. So what we're gonna do is basically, once we put the insulation here, we'll try to keep consistent. Obviously not too much tight in the rock bar here, and tight at the end. So it will be a bit on an angle maybe when we put the standing sheets, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable, especially when we put the flashing at the bottom correctly and nice. Also, we're waiting for the scaffolders to come and remove those ties, and all along that elevation where Victor is, because they're on the way. And we have a drip flashing that we need to put. Obviously here we don't have, but where the ties are like over there, we have a drip flashing, and the drip flashing is like 80mm down here in front of the brick, and this tie is on the way, so they said they can take this one off, they can put them onto the brackets here. So yeah, we're waiting for that. There are a couple of more ties that we need to get on that top level over there, because that's also needs to be finished, the brickwork over there. When they finish, we can crack on with top hats there, so we get level, know where the drip flashing is and top hats and whatnot, and yeah, we'll get this done. It's like grafting here, boys, like grafting. Mr. Shevchenko is tired of dragging the 150mm insulation, so I offered my services today, you know, just before the bank holiday. I am gonna go all the way from the loading bay, which is the only loading bay we have, by the way, and drag the insulation. I just got all this insulation loaded here, and I've got a bunch of insulation down there, but can't bring it now. So we're gonna split it in between 3 levels. Before that, at the top, Victor is there. He has a lot of rock bars, so we're gonna split the rock bars. We calculated at the top, we need to leave 10 rock bars, and then we're gonna drop 30 rock bars at that floor. We're gonna leave 15, and then we're gonna drop the other 15 at the bottom. So we're gonna split the rock bars, and then yeah, today we're gonna start with the 150 rock bars, and yeah, let's get it. Okay, easy work. It takes a lot of time for the distribution, but we are making a move. We are not complaining. We're actually doing pretty good. All the flashings for the elevation lined up here today. About 3 o'clock, we're gonna mobilize everybody and get all the materials checked, put it in the right place, make sure they're not gonna fly away, because obviously we're gonna be away for 4 days, and we don't want any disturbance, any materials flying away, any issues with what we've got. So yeah, we're gonna tidy up the site. We're gonna make sure everything is safe. Okay, they have arrived. So this is absolutely brilliant news, because as you know, that slope where the boys are, we have never finished it, because as per the drawing, the sheets were meant to be 300mm, but they don't overlap the single ply. And we have ordered 5 brand new sheets, 300 and 200mm, 3200mm, so they can overlap that ply here. And yeah, so now we're gonna get them, we're gonna get the flashing there, we'll finish this slope, get it sorted, and then we can go back to the wall. But obviously we've got 6 men here, so we've got somebody on the wall regardless. We already started even the 4th elevation that we were meant to be starting next week, so we are way ahead. Actually, we were way ahead, so I'm quite happy of the progress. We're gonna get that slope just before bank holiday, which is very good. I am actually super buzzing about it, because now I can say after today the roof, it will be 100% completed. As you can see, we are almost ready for paneling. The panels just arrived today, so we've got the panels. After bank holidays we're going to start them. We need the brickies to come and repair some of the bricks here, because once we put the flashing, it will come to about the bottom of that brick, and it's going to be very difficult for them to put that brick on. So we want these 3 bricks and a couple of more bricks here and there to be done, so we can put the flashing. But yeah, insulation is going, rock bar is going, everything is fixed, along here is fixed. Yeah, next week we'll be ready for panels, so we're gonna have another massive elevation, and then we have the beast. Is gonna be left. The beast is an absolute beast. This elevation, the 4th elevation, is a lot. Like, we've got so many windows and base individuals. We got balcony brackets that we need to overcome and notch the panels, put some plates, rivet them, butyl, make sure it's sealed, the insulation is not exposed in between the balconies, as the details was not clear, but we figured that out. And yeah, we're moving. But yeah, this elevation is an absolute beast. This is going to take some time, so there's going to be a lot of work in here. And because we only have like a loading bay there, which is that's where we start, the joint between the brickwork and the cladding, and then we have a loading bay up there on the 4th floor. So obviously take everything from the loading bay. I just got all the top hats here lined up, because even though we were meant to be working just on the elevation 3 down at the gable end, the west elevation, for some reason I think the contractor have ordered pretty much most of the top hats for the entire job. So I've got a lot of top hats still here on the scaffold, and down there I have another pallet of top hats. So what we're going to do is, this is the plan, so we can establish how many top hats we have on site, and do we need any extra top hats. We don't want the contractor to basically go around and basically ordering any additional top hats that we might not need. Moving way quicker than what basically the program says. So that's the goal for the minute. Get it done quickly. We want that building to be completed as fast as possible and as professionally as possible in a good standards. Obviously, you know, we're gonna take time with flashings and stuff, bending them, making them nice. We want the building obviously to look nice, but if we can improve somewhere and we have some extra materials, why not just starting with the last elevation that we have, which is the biggest elevation. Many windows here, is a lot of base, it's 3 floors up, a lot of slopes, a lot of cutting of sheets. But if we can get something in the meantime while we do the 3rd elevation down there at the gable end, and at the same time we have a team doing this one with top hats, we're way ahead of program. And that is the key. If we can find somewhere in between where in a days you can maybe improve the program, you just gotta do it. And that's what we are about, that's what we're doing. Okay, we have some issues with our flashing. For some reason now, we have a long piece of flashing and then we have pieces of these internal flashings, and they all should be the same because we only have one schedule, but as you can see, they're not the same. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing here, because that is the only long piece that I have. And when I put this, because it's not bended, you can kind of see it should be really like that, and then here should be bent more. Now maybe I'm going to try to bend that, or we can reorder again the flashing, because for some reason I don't know why they're different. It just doesn't make any sense. That's why this internal flashing, because I mentioned earlier, it wasn't installed and the boys maybe missed it, or for some reason they didn't install it. But that's why they didn't install it, because just the flashings are different. So I need to go and find out what's happening. And do we need to order? Obviously that's the last elevation we have completed. It looks absolutely stunning. Check it out, look at this. Flashings down there, flashings around the door, on top obviously, you know the score, nicely made. Yep. Here we can't do that verge flashing here because of the scaffold on both sides. Actually we can't do it, but yeah, obviously return here on the flashing, a little bit of a mark here, but we can clean that now. Actually we have, I think I've seen these flashing, maybe I can get them and we can get installed. But yeah, corner flashings, internal flashings, obviously around the door the flashing. But yeah, this is I think my favorite elevation so far. It just looks so fucking neat. Obviously nice big panels, not too many doors and windows and stuff like that. But yeah, we've got missed one internal flashing. We gotta get this done. Maybe there is a reason why it hasn't been done. I believe there is. Yes, they want the verge flashing here so he knows where he's gonna finish. Once we put it, we can slide this underneath so it's nice finished product. Obviously external flashing, and as you can see, spot on. Yeah, this is my favorite elevation. I think it's absolutely mint. Check it out, straight. Yeah, all the flashings, everything is being returned. Jam flashings installed on the windows and everything. Yeah, this is mint. Looking actually lovely without the protection, the sunshine. I mean, yeah, looking lovely. Obviously that elevation completed, all that completed. Yeah, it's looking mint. Today obviously, you know the score, we like to leave our working area absolutely spotless and clean. So yeah, the boys obviously have cleaned everything. There is nothing left of us, only scaffold boards. Obviously this needed to be taken off in order to put the panel. But yeah, area has been clean and everybody's now focused on the back end of the building. Look at this, angles, top hats. That's obviously the 4th elevation I was talking about. We have started with it. We have done a lot of the top hats, pre-cut. We loaded some insulation for the boys. Okay, this is the episode where we might have overpromised to our client what we can deliver and what time, because we have all these brackets here and we estimate it will take some amount of time, but I don't know, we might have made a big mistake. So we're gonna find out in this episode what actually is happening here, because this could cost a lot of money to the client and to ourselves as well if we don't get this elevation done in like sharp time. Because next week we've got a massive delivery coming for the last elevation, which is the biggest elevation with 3 floors. So we need to crack on in there, but first we need to get this done. Alright, let's see now what we've done. So basically the panel is gonna slot in between the bracket. We've made it tight So if we need to cut a little bit more, but let's see. Yes, okay, yeah, that match is good. We get this timber here so we can keep consistent gap over this flashing. That's clicked in there. That's nice and sharp around the bracket, yeah, tight. And then later, like I said, we're gonna use some pieces so we can rivet here. They won't be visible, but we want to protect the insulation obviously on the top. And just like that, every single panel. That's matte, that's matte. But I gotta tell you, it takes a lot of time. I think that took like probably an hour just to get this cut and measure them and make them correctly. Now we're gonna get to a straight line where we're gonna do it probably in like 5 minutes, and then again another window, and then another window. Obviously cut. We've cut this 310mm from the top of the window to here because the balcony will come very close. Now the only brackets we have is at the bottom right here for these sheets of the standing seam. What we're gonna do after is we're gonna put the strips with rivets from the offcuts here and there, so there is no gaps. And then later we have this flashing above the window, which we're gonna put it, and we're gonna retain this at the top like that. So we're gonna push it right tight, and that's gonna hold basically this standing seams at the top. And then the balcony comes on the top over here, and all you're gonna see is just the finish line of the standing seam. In the next episode, we're gonna find out if we made the elevation completed or not, or did we make ourselves in a big trouble where delivery comes to site and there was no space due to us not be able to install all the standing seams on the third elevation. Stay tuned. If you like this video, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.